3, 2, 1.
But during our stay here, it hasn't been all about rugby. Our former Springbok captain's been out and about. New Zealand tourism have been trying to show their wares, showcase what one can do ahead of the World Cup next year. And you've had some fabulous experiences this week, starting with the very sedate and moving on to the more exciting.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you talk about show their wares and what wares they have. I mean, South Africa, for me, is one of the world's greatest destinations, and New Zealand's been this sort of dark mountainous place where these terrible rugby players come from. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to get more people to see what sort of is behind the layers in New Zealand. And my goodness, it's the adrenaline capital of the world. It's also, Auckland is known as the city of sails for one reason. Almost everybody's got a boat, so we had a chance to chug out on a pair of them. Well, the Springboks have had their captain's practice, getting ready for a big test match. My big test today is slightly different. I'm going out on the water with some amazing sailors in one of the boats that competed in the America's Cup.
Now the history on this boat was a boat built for a French team back in 1995. It was then brought to New Zealand to the America's Cup in 2000, and then we brought the boat and we've been doing trips around the harbour since.
So just a quick bit on technique and I'll go through some safety. When you approach the pedestal, make sure you're nice and square. See a lot of the first timers doing the running man stance. This looks really cool, which is about half a sailing, but when the boat leans over, you're going to lean with it and you're going to end up on the floor, which is not so cool, okay? So make sure you're nice and square, shoulder width apart. Get right over the top of the pedestal, you can put a lot of power into it, okay? Also, you can see there are two parts to each handles. Now this means there can be two people grinding at one time. So you want to be grabbing the two left handles, okay? So that's left hand on the outside, right hand on the inside.
Not easy at all, eh? Chosen a good partner, eh? He's doing all the hard work. Okay, obviously breathing quite heavily, just done a bit of hard work on the grinding, but my partners were outstanding, so it wasn't too hard. All the sails are up. And in the background, city of sails, beautiful sky tower, looking down over us as we sail into the bay. Okay, sure. And so what are the things you've got to look out for? I mean, the wind's obviously, where do you want the wind to be when you...
Where we are right now, it's through the city.
Yep.
You can see at the moment that our head sail is fogging.
Yep.
Alright, it's shaking away.
Yep.
What we can do now is we can trim that sail on a little bit.
Yep.
Or what we want to do is just turn away from the wind because the wind's too close. So we're just going to, what we call bearing away. So we're just turning to our left, coming away from the wind. And this is where we're going to start increasing our speed. You can feel the boat powering up now.
Why does that happen? I mean, if you're turning away from where the wind's
well, the sail shape, where we want to go is we've trimmed the sail.
Okay, trimmed it to be that way. Okay, cool. I thought it was an easy job that's just steering straight. Sounds like there's quite a lot of maths to exactly the direction that you're taking as well.
So did you see any of the World Cup?
Thanks very much for that. Appreciate it. Good to see you. Well, I'll jump off the boat. Not a bad morning outing. We saw the dolphins, saw the whole of Auckland from one of the most fantastic racing ocean vessels I've ever seen in my life, and my sea legs actually held out this time.
Well, from the sublime, it was to a little bit of the ridiculous for Bob. You did a bit of fishing, didn't you?
I did, and I love my fishing. I'm always carting off, throwing a bait everywhere and catching nothing. So New Zealand Tourism said, don't worry, we can remedy that. We've got a guy in New Zealand, his name is Matt Watson. He runs a show called The Fishing Show, and then he also runs a derivative of that called Extreme Stunt Fishing. So I knew I was in trouble when I met him, and his broad grin said, welcome to New Zealand, mate. Matt Watson took us fishing, and there are a million different things that were involved in that.
Well, here we go here. Just up in front of us, there's a bit of activity. There is a few birds there. It looks like, it's definitely a school of mahi-mahi on the surface, and there's a bigger fish there that could be a shark. No, it's a marlin. It's definitely a blue marlin. So we've just got to get lined up now. And while the fish are still feeding on the surface, we've got to take our opportunity.
Looks like he got it.
Well, we're staying at the beautiful Eagle's Nest, and I'm only a little bit chilly because it's just after dawn. We're going to go and catch up with Matt Watson, who I know is one of the most famous fishermen in the world. And all my South Africans have said, Skinstad, put him to the test. Let's see if he's the best.
Here you go, mate.
Yes! Nah, I think it's probably just one of the cold ones. I'm not sure. It's come off.
Hello.
Oh, hello!
Holy smokes, I can't even stand up on this rock. Holy smokes. This is a nicey.
Yes! That's a big one! Come on, bro! Get him in there! Yes! That is a donkey! Oh, thank you so much, bro.
Well done.
Thank you so much. That is a donkey.
Give it to him.
Yeah, Jesus. On the piper.
Mate, this fish is just coming on hard and strong.
Yep.
Geez, that didn't take
He's
long.
coming. Yeah, he's moving. You're moving. Got him moving. Got him moving. Good work.
You notice that Bob's gone from my new bait runner to the old grunty lucky one.
There
And
it
look
is.
at that, it's delivered another, just a beautiful snapper. What a perfect way to finish. Well done, guys. I think if they stay in the trade, bro, that's a wrap.
Well, you've seen him on one of the best fishing shows. He does crazy things like jump out of helicopters and hand tag marlins. He looked after me today. This is only one of the Kiwis that you can look forward to meeting when we come over to hopefully try and defend a World Cup, or are you going to get in the way of it?
Well, we'll see. We might invite the Springboks over for dinner the night before the final.
Well, a little bit left field by the look of things, but a good host, Bob.
No, outstanding. I mean, him and everybody that we stayed with went out of their way. You know, we're doing a couple of little dockies with them about the experience, but that was some of the highlights. I tell you what, these New Zealanders are going really over the top, and they've been incredible hosts. I've had a ball.